We should discuss how to counter the side impacts of chemotherapy. Here's the issue with chemotherapy. It makes a poisonous impact the whole body. The other issue with chemotherapy is that yes, it kills disease, be that as it may. It never kills 100%. There's generally a limited quantity left. The disease cells that are not killed really become more grounded. So this resembles the most concerning issue with oncologists managing the obstruction after the main round of chemotherapy. The malignant growth returns with a retribution. So you really want more grounded chemotherapy. You really want extra medications. Since now the disease is extremely safe, last year 20 million individuals around the world got disease, 9.7 million of them passed on. The most normal malignant growth is cellular breakdown in the lungs, followed by variety rectal disease. So regardless of whether you have disease, you may wind up having a companion or cherished one that has disease, and you can share this data. Certain phytonutrients have defensive impacts against disease, so I assessed a ton of them, and I'm going to put the connections down beneath. However, there are 5 that I needed to raise and talk about on the grounds that these 5 they have chemo precaution factors. Okay, that is a tad, not quite the same as chemo defensive elements. Chemo safeguard factors really get things done to forestall disease from occurring in any case. Also forestall requiring chemotherapy, so when that pathway gets set off, or those qualities, you are safeguarded from oxidative stress aggravation, free extreme harm, you get better detoxification, whatnot. 5 of the phytonutrients I'm going to notice have that impact also. So what are they? Number 1, sulforaphane, that is in broccoli fledglings, so you can additionally do grown up broccoli, yet when you do the broccoli fledglings it's like 20 to 50 times more moved, and it's in 1 more cruciferous vegetables. Also number 2, resveratrol, well, that is a normal phytonutrient that makes a difference, hostile to maturing also, yet it's strong and stronger phytonutrient that you would be able to take in the event that you're taking chemo. Also next one on the rundown is quercetin. Okay, that is in onions, it's in a ton of different things. Then we get to the significant compound in green tea, EGCG, and afterward the keep going one on the rundown is called allicin in garlic. Presently, there's different things you can do too, which I'm going to get into. Next one is cachexia. What is that? That is the dying of body tissue from specific sicknesses like malignant growth. Well, what's intriguing about this is that more than half individuals who have disease pass on from this cachexia, not the malignant growth, straightforwardly, and this issue can be extraordinarily worked on by taking magnesium. There's this gigantic association between a lack of magnesium and cachexia, so by taking magnesium, help a forestall or perhaps delayed down this cycle. And presently we'll discuss something significantly really intriguing, and this is a minor element called selenium. Now I as of late found out about selenium in an entire different light from this book here, What Truly Causes Helps by Harold D. Encourage. Wow, intriguing book. I'm not going to discuss helps, yet I need to discuss the connection between selenium in the invulnerable framework. So what does help stand for? AIDS. You're lacking in something very explicit in your resistant framework, the T assistant cell. On the off chance that you don't as of now have the foggiest idea, the T assistant cell is like the general of a military. The T assistant cell arranges and deals with the safeguard components, every one of the different safe cells, also what they ought to do and what they ought not be doing, and this cell is reliant upon selenium currently. What's intriguing is that they viewed as a direct connection between the lack of these T partner cells and helps, yet even a greater amount of a relationship with helps is the lack in selenium. In the event that you're lacking in selenium, make this general of your military it very much like it's non-functional, and they likewise have found a few entrancing information in areas of Africa where they have the most noteworthy pace of helps. They have the most lacking soils in selenium. Exactly the same thing in the US as well, region of the country that are most effective selenium, to the extent that the dirts go have the most noteworthy pace of helps. Now there's something else to discuss that in another video. Yet I need to make reference to 2 other safe cells that are subject to selenium. One is the normal executioner cell, the other one is the cytotoxic cell. With both of these have to responsibilities to kill infections and to kill disease. They are both subject to selenium, so in the event that I had helps, I would be taking 400 micrograms of selenium each and every day. Assuming I had disease, I would need to fortify my safe framework, and I would take in any event 200 to 400 micrograms of selenium. Now, how could I take that on the grounds that the chemo is obliterating my resistant framework? That is one major issue. It may not diminish the after effects, yet it might reinforce your guards against disease. Good. So I discussed the 5 phytonutrients. I discussed magnesium, selenium. What else is there? Irregular fasting and drag-out fasting. I've done different recordings on this theme. When you do discontinuous fasting and particularly delayed fasting, you fortify your resistant framework. There's a ton to discuss on that theme, and we'll leave that for another video. Also, I'll put the connection down underneath. You can watch that. Later. Next thing, exercise can extraordinarily decrease the incidental effects from chemo. Now, how could that help? Well, that of the fact that practice straightforwardly and intensely fortifies your mitochondria. Disease is a mitochondrial infection, so you should practice consistently, not simply if you have malignant growth on chemo. However, to forestall disease, the next thing, cold treatment. Cold treatment can likewise decrease the after effects from chemo and radiation treatment. Intriguing. Next thing, vitamin D. Vitamin D is one of the most significant nutrients to reinforce the resistant framework on the off chance that you had malignant growth. How much vitamin D would it be a good idea for you take? Well, you want to take you want to take high dosages of it. If you take a gander at the typical sums that most specialists need your vitamin D at, it's somewhere in the range of 30 and 100 nanograms for every milliliter of blood. You could need to increment that considerably more, something like 120 nog per milliliter. Currently, certain individuals are going to say, well, isn't there a harmful impact from vitamin D? I really don't think there is. I believe it's to a greater extent to entertain a lack in excess of a vitamin D poisonousness. For more data on that subject, you ought to look at this video here.